All right. Hello, everybody. We are going to get started here for the kickoff for this part-time comics campaign here. The first one in 2023. We have two books. Hopefully those listening, if you want to chime in, Andrew, hopefully you can hear me in the through the YouTubes. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little launch party here. We have a special guest with us we'll bring on in a second. And I'm trying to spread the word out. So if anybody can share this for me, I just found out just now that I am over the limit for tweets, which I've never seen before. um, I don't feel like I sent out. I mean, obviously, we just launched today, so thanks, Andrew. That happens, but I mean, I'm sure I sent out a lot, but yeah, I've never seen that before, so I wasn't able to share that we're live right now, but that's okay. I put it out there earlier, so hopefully other people get the notification that we went live. And again, we appreciate you tuning in. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, we are, also doing this live on YouTube. So did just want to create some extra. Oh, that's okay. Well, I've never been banned either, but maybe I will after after all these tweets. Apparently, that's a bad thing, is to go on Twitter and use their platform for what it's supposed to be for. But anyway, we are here to talk about this campaign. We just launched this morning. What an amazing start! 72 backers already in I don't know how to do math. 8 hours. No, 7. I launched it about 7. So 9 hours. Thank you. I got there. But yeah, we launched 9 hours ago. We've had an amazing start so far. This is our biggest goal we've ever launched with, so we have a ways to go, and we'll go over the campaign as part of the discussion here, but just wanted to thank everybody for the great launch so far. Again, if you're watching this afterwards on YouTube and you haven't checked it out, the link will be in the show notes. But just to go over it real quick, again, we have two books. We have the third issue in our series, Drumsticks of Doom, which is a heavy metal epic comic about a young woman who just wants to make indie music in a heavy metal world. If you haven't come across it, we had an awesome success. Actually, we launched, tomorrow will be 1 year to the day we launched the first one. So this will be the third issue. Had a couple snags along the way, wanted to put them out more quickly, but you know what? Sometimes these things happen, especially in indie comics. And I'm grateful to be here for the third issue of that. And Depowered has been a much tougher road to get to this second issue. A year later, we're here onto the second issue. I have an awesome team working with me on this book as well. So we've got amazing rewards. We're very excited to have now 2 of our miniseries going full swing. So we thought we'd just launch them together because we have a lot of backers that seem to support all the books we put out. So why not make it easy for them to buy and ship them together? So, but without further ado, there I am. Hello, everybody. Yeah, without further ado, we're going to bring in our special guest. You saw some of his art there just a second ago, and we'll go through it. And I'd like to welcome in, if I can figure out how to do it. There he is. Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm glad we finally got to talk. Sometimes in this weird internet world, you do all this collaboration together and never really get a chance to sit down and chat. So I thought this would be a good time for us to get to know each other as well.
Hell yeah.
For those who don't know, I am in Chicago-ish, Illinois, in the States, and Ryan is over in the future of Australia. So it is Thursday for him, Thursday morning. So he got up a little early just to chat with you all on the YouTube, and we appreciate him for that.
No problem.
But when I've done interviews and discussions with collaborators in the past, I always love to hear people's comics journey. So Ryan, why don't you tell us, how did you get into comics, and how did you fall so low that you were so desperate for work that you answered my email and said, yeah, I'll draw some pages for you?
I got into comics when I was about in grade 5. I was about 7 or 8 years old, I think. It was 1985. Started reading Marvel and DC. got hooked on that, and did that for years. I just read lots of comics. I had no desire to make them or anything. I was into art though. I was into like sort of canvas painting type stuff. I wanted to do that sort of direction when I was young, and then right towards I finished before I finished school, I sort of wanted to try and do my own comics. And, self-published my own first comic in 1994. It's a black and white book. Then I just continued to do self-publishing mini comics for 20 years, really. I just did it all myself mostly, and contributed to other people's books here and there, and just did it all myself because I just loved doing it. Basically, I wasn't really making no money out of it at all, and
You and me both.
right. But yeah.
And there's some money to be made, but not big money in comics. But and that's okay. You do it mostly for the passion. But hopefully, we can get there someday. But
yeah, at least I make a little bit now, tiny bit.
Yeah, and for me, I don't know if I've ever did this spiel for my YouTube channel. For me, I was about 11 years old. Grandma worked at she ran a cleaning company near a comic shop. She used to read, she used to read Nancy and Popeye and other comics when she was younger. So she popped us in there, and I saw, I believe, I'm 99% sure the first comic I picked off the shelf was Amazing Spider-Man 332, which is Eric Larson with Venom jumping at the screen. And yeah, I was just hooked from there. It was like, wow, these come out every month, and they're like, at least they were 75 cents each. My grandma gives me like $5. I can get like, 10 of them, and it's, amazing. So yeah, it's pretty much her and my mom took me every month since then. I never really. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, funny you saying that. That exact issue. My iPad here is sitting on a collection of Eric Larson's complete.
Nice.
Spider-Mans. I love Eric Larson's stuff. So.
Oh, love him. And then went backwards to Todd McFarlane after that. But yeah, Larson's he's my Spider-Man artist.
Yeah, he's very underrated, I think, especially as a writer. He's a great writer. And his art's just so cool. Like,
yeah, I do wish he had branched out into some more writing. I read Savage Dragon when it first came out for those first couple of years, and I know it's been going forever, but he is just unapologetic and just does what he wants in every issue.
Yeah, I read till about just past issue 100 of Savage Dragon, then I just sort of on it then, but yeah, it's still going. It's like up to 266, I think. So,
yeah, I think you're right.
He's getting there.
But he's a great writer, and obviously one of the best draftsmen to ever do it. So I was pretty hooked right away. Then, Mark Bagley came after him, and by then I had found Todd McFarlane and just thought, I was hooked on Spider-Man for a long time. Mostly read Marvel, most of my young life. Not until my early 20s well, that's not true. Image, I branched out a little bit, but it wasn't until my early 20s, so I really started getting into indie comics and, still through a lot of Image comics, but thankfully had some great friends that kind of pushed me to try a lot more indie, and that's when mid-20s, I kind of said, I never really had a desire to write. My brother was always the artist. He was going to, write and draw comics. He never really went on to do that, but I just was happy reading them. And then I was on a comic message board community, 11 O'Clock Comics, and I was like, you know what? I have a couple ideas for a story. Any artists out there want to collaborate? Unfortunately, at the time, my longtime friend, Bobgar Ornelas, answered the call and said, yeah, what do you want to work on? And pitched them some ideas, and I've been doing it for about 12 or 13 years since. But yeah, that's kind of how I got here to where we're at. Again, never really had the drive to create comics. Just I was in a band for a long time, and that was kind of my creative outlet, I think. And then I think as those years kind of waned down, I wanted a different creative outlet, and that was I'm grateful to now. Again, I have about 24 books under my name with my collaborators, and like I said, launching 2 more just this morning.
Doing well. Yeah, I do. I play in a band, but I play less and less nowadays as well. Sort of just time, just busy, really. So
yeah, and that was really what it was for me too. Like, and part of Drumsticks of Doom came out of that. part of the story is, you know, struggling with that. You know, do I want to go on to create music? How does that work? And then I thought that might be a boring story. Nobody wants to hear about that, so I added some werewolves and other things, you know, to make it a little more interesting. But it's really about, you know, music creation and kind of going through that span of, you know, for a lot of us, we eventually get to a point where maybe that's not our creative outlet anymore. You know, for me, it was, you know, having kids and all that. Like you said, people don't realize it's a lot of time, you know, practicing, especially for me. I don't have the best memory. I don't know how to read music, so I got to memorize the songs. And if we don't get enough practices in, then, you know, playing drums, you can really mess up the whole show. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of pressure on drummers.
but I'm glad that you mentioned music because, you know, that I believe we were connected through Twitter. No, maybe Facebook. You were working with someone else on a comic, followed you, and then I Drumsticks of Doom. I'm trying to collaborate with other, you know, fellow musicians, although I call myself that loosely, because, you know, I think that's just kind of part of the soul that I want into the book. And yeah, I saw, you know, some of your live performances. You know, Viper Syndicate, for people who don't know.
That's the
Uh,
one.
you know, Ryan is a master of many things, including, much to my chagrin, he plays guitar. Uh, you know, the anti-rhythm section, but that's okay. We forgive him for that. I said, you know what, this guy's super cool. He's playing music. He's an amazing artist. I got to work with him, and thankfully, again, you were able to answer that call.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm a big fan of werewolves, like, as well. So you got the heavy metal, the werewolves. Doom is a great title as well. Hey, how could I say no? So
Yeah, and you know, for those who haven't read issue 2, we had, I needed someone to do kind of an alternate sequence. I mean, I'll just spoil it. It's a dream sequence, but it's based on something that happens in the universe. And again, just seeing Ryan's art, you know, I was kind of trying to think, you know, how can I work with this guy? And I was like, oh, you know, I have an idea. And that comes back in this issue. So that's part of why, you know, again, I had Ryan on today. He is involved in this current campaign. And we kind of finish up that little dream sequence storyline here. We'll see where it goes in the future. But Ryan does start off both issues, and, you know, amazing, you know, line work. It works really well in black and white. So I think you just killed it. Just nailed these pages. So at the very least, it's worth it just for Ryan's, you know, short pages in the book. And we'll definitely find, you know, some more ways to get him involved in the future, which we may, if you stick around, have a spoiler for a future issue for you. And I would share Ryan's art with you, except for I'm technologically illiterate, apparently. And I cannot get the, I cannot.
I think I've got the original here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think so. Would have to be here. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I do have it.
Oh, wow.
But that's if you want to show it off.
Oh, I definitely do. I did figure out how to screen share. So we can, yeah, again, you see his art here. A Conan style character based on a certain person from the heavy metal scene. So you have to read that to get that reference. But yeah, you see it here. But yeah, let's see the originals here. There we go.
Oh, you want to see the original?
Yeah.
So we have a drum roll. You should be doing the drum roll.
Drum roll. My drums are too far away.
Can people guess the album cover that this is based off?
I got to make you bigger. How do I make you bigger? Well, that's big. There we go. Check it out. And I'll pull up the digitized version. And I actually did not realize until right now that I didn't realize you did what would you call it? Traditional colors. I thought you colored that digitally, and now I need to fly out to Australia.
Yeah, I don't do anything. I don't do anything digital because I'm no good at digital at all, really. So I just hand or use pens and watercolor and anything.
That is
really never works.
Even more amazing. And now I need to fly out to Australia and get that from you. So be hopping on a flight soon.
Yeah.
And we're so glad to have you in the chat, Andrew, because you have it. I was trying to think of a cover for Ryan to do that would kind of fit in his style, and I had this idea. There is a character in the book that is referenced there on the cover, which you'll see, but I was like, oh, I really wanted him to do Peace Cells and change it into change Vic into that character, and yeah, he nailed it.
It's a classic album too. Like, I love that album. Love Megadeth. So, hey.
Yes, I did. Well, we won't turn this into a negative broadcast, but I did listen to the new Megadeth, and they've certainly had some different eras of their career. But yes, that era of Rust in Peace, Peace Cells, and I know people feel like Countdown is kind of the Black Album, and Euthanasia is kind of
that one.
the
Oh,
I love that is my era, and Megadeth.
Euthanasia is their Black Album to me. Like
Oh, okay, I could see that. That is, it is even a little bit more polished.
Oh, I love Countdown to Extinction.
Countdown could be their Injustice for All to me then.
That's true. Yeah, it's got that coldness. It's got a little bits of industrial, those little samples. I love that. It's just got a really good feel.
But you could see where they were headed, a little bit more polished, a little bit more commercialized, if that's what you want to say. But I think they nailed it. And Megadeth was my gateway band. I was into some alternative bands, Nirvana and Pearl Jam. But I had a couple buddies who listened to Megadeth, and to me, of the big four, they were my gateway band. So I really, even though Mustaine is who he is, and the music has really gotten a lot different, that era to me, I love Megadeth. And Peace Cells, I started out trying to play bass, and of course, Peace Cells, one of the best bass lines ever. So
I was the same. I was into that sort of more grungy and cock rock music, and then I had a few friends are into a bit the more heavier stuff, and I slowly got to that and then just embraced it all. Like Slayer was the last one. I had Megadeth and Anthrax, and Slayer was the last of the big four because they were important to me back then.
I had a brother who was huge into Anthrax and Slayer. I always liked and appreciated, but they're just they're not one where I reach for their albums. But yeah, Megadeth, Metallica.
I don't like early Anthrax though. I like the later Persistence of Time era and Attack of the Killer Bees, and that was my sort of, I liked all that. So
yeah, and my brother was much more into the later, like Stomp 442, John Bush era. So
I liked John Bush era. That was good though. Yeah, Sound of White Noise is great.
I remember listening to those albums a lot. But yeah, Megadeth was definitely my gateway to metal band, and no ill feeling. So again, this is, I had this kind of idea, and I'm so glad you were able to do it, and I'm really upset now. Maybe if I pay you a lot of money, you'll ship me that from across the ocean.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm going to send you some of my stuff anyway, so I'll send you that, and we'll send you some of my stuff.
Yeah, and especially after so for people who know, that was supposed to be the cover for issue 3, but we ended up splitting issue 3 and 4 into 2 issues. So I think it works better as 4. So Ryan, at the very least, will be back for issue 4 in a few months when we launch that. And then, Ryan, I'll definitely package up some of these issues and get them over to you. I have found a decent rate shipping to Australia, so hopefully that holds strong, so I can get you a big stack of books, because I really do appreciate it.
No rush, man. All good.
So why don't you tell us about some of your other projects you have coming up? Because obviously, Drumsticks of Doom has launched your career now. You're doing all these books that hadn't, everything to do with joining up with us at Part-Time Comics. Once that happened, everybody wanted to work with you, right?
Absolutely. Actually, or Drumsticks, that's my first American cover. Absolutely, that will be.
Oh, wow, nice.
And I haven't done too much stuff American. I did a couple of field stories for Antarctic Press years ago. Doing just for the annuals of Ninja High School, and
oh, I never knew that.
Was it Gold Digger?
Oh yeah,
stories for them. Sort of still my style. I just drew the eyes bigger, basically. So,
I gotta dig those up.
Yeah, it's like around 2002 annual. They put out their fan annuals. Anyone could submit. So to me back then, look, I could get published over there. I'll just do some stories. So it's about I think it might be 5 different issues where I've got little, like either pin up or little short stories.
That's cool.
But what the stuff coming out this year? Geez, I'm working on a book called Battery Hen at the moment.
I was going to say, I want to hear about Battery Hen. I've obviously seen the art online.
That's written by me. It's been my first book where I've done everything for years, where it's just me. I've been sort of collaborating with other people for the last couple of years on different things. I've got a half-finished page right here. There's a little bit. What's the current page? Right there. That's just a little bit of.
Yeah, look at that great ink work. And correct me if I'm wrong. That's one of the pages you were working with the Xerox machine to.
Yes.
That's so cool.
I'll show you some other stuff from it. Now, what you want to see? That'll probably be the back cover, the Steve Ditko Spider-Man tribute.
Saw that. That's amazing. Oh, wait, let me make it bigger again.
I'm a huge Steve Ditko fan.
Yeah, that's so great. Love classic. That. That's classic cover, yeah.
Body 33 parody. That's on collage, cut out collage, something different.
Very cool.
The ballpoint pen for the first panel. I also wanted to experiment with this book and just do different, just every type of different, just mixed media basically. I'll just show you the front cover. I've got it here somewhere. Well, that'd be the cover art.
Yeah, and that was probably the first image I saw, and just a yeah. I mean, you guys see here, you just have such a design style that just appeals to me, and I just want to know everything about Battery Hen. You know, just seeing that one image, you know, it's just such a great design. Is this a character you've been holding on to for a while, or is this just something you're came up with recently?
Yeah, I've had a couple of little versions of it, just in like little pin-up things, and I've sort of developed the character. But I like the idea of it. Just that I really like the name, and I thought I could do something with it. And I thought I'm actually going to try and bring it all together a bit more properly. And the book will be 36 pages of interior story. She's a bounty hunter, and she's got a taser. That's basically the whole Battery Hen type thing. Yeah, it's a simple concept. That way I could just keep doing. Bounty hunters are easy to write, really. You just have more bounties.
Yep. And like what's Darrow's new book for Dark Horse? Shaolin Cowboy? Does that sound right?
Oh yeah, I love Shaolin Cowboy, yeah.
Similar idea. Let's keep it simple and just go page to page and see where the story takes you. I also read a newer creator to me. His name is J.R. Behrens. He does a book called Gray Hat. Just picked it up. And yeah, similarly, you know, he's got an Old West style, but there's all these weird and wacky things that happen. You never know when you turn the page what kind of weird, you know, thing is going to happen. And I like books like that are.
Me too. I like just stuff happens, and all the stuff I write is kind of like that. It's not too high concept. It's just a character, and then this happens, and this happens, and whoever they meet, the story that creates the story, the whatever interaction they have, type thing. So
great. And it page is done. Still working on them. When do you plan on that one coming out?
I've got 12 pages to. It's all penciled. I've got 12 pages to ink and color. So nice. It'll be finished in 2 weeks.
Nice. And you work in your.
I got a script. I've written most sort of half the skeleton of the script. I could actually write that out. I'm using a letterer for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Because my lettering kind of sucks, so I want it to be kind of nice.
And you're going to hand it off to someone to digitally letter?
Yes. Plus, since I'm doing it in color, I'm not going to cut out all the lettering and stick it down. So Like,
No, you got to do
I've
that
already
first.
got someone lined up for that. SK, his name is, and he's going to do that. He's got great lettering, so
Oh, I love Steven SK. Yeah,
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 yes, he's works great. His
he's
lettering,
in
so
a ton of my uh indie comics groups and stuff on Facebook. Yeah, he's
yeah,
super, just
yeah,
the
he's
nicest guy in
everywhere.
the world.
He's really cool.
Well,
So,
if I certainly owe you for all the hard work you've done for us at Part Time Comics. So if SK ends up getting busy or something, hit me up. I am not as good of a letterer as he is, but I can definitely do it up for you.
I've never done digital lettering ever, so I have no idea about that. I just traditional. So
Yeah, it's harder than people think. I'm glad that really out of necessity, I was working with an artist, Bob Gar, who I mentioned earlier, and he was lettering and drawing, and he was like, really, if you want me to put these pages out, we need someone else to letter. He taught me how to do it in Photoshop, and I've been doing it ever since. Yeah, it's definitely a skill, and there's a reason why people are specialists in it. So I'm grateful that I learned to do it. It also helps me not have to finalize my script. So if I'm lettering my own stuff, then I can kind of work on it on the page and not feel like I have to have it 100% down before I hand it off to a letterer. So that works for me too. I can be a little lazy in the script and write, add dialogue here or whatever later, and then when I get to see the page, I can add it and move it around. Do all that stuff. I've even edited right out as it's going to print. I'm, changing it and going out the door. So, but yeah. If you ever need help with that, let me know.
oh,
Happy to do
cheers.
it. Happy to do it.
Well, that's Battery Head. I'm almost finished that, but other books that are coming out this year should be Killaroo, Old Man Rufus.
Oh yeah, that's been a while in the making, right?
That. Yeah, it's been finished for ages, but it's coming out quite soon, I think.
Okay.
A book called Ring Around the Rosie. I've done it with a few other people through Comex. It's coming out through, and it's black and white, and people were inking each other for that book.
Cool.
Morton Stone Undertaker Autopsy issue 1. I've got a story and a front cover for that. That's coming out sometime this year too. So I definitely know those are coming out.
Wow.
And I'm doing a book with Mike Deanna as well. We're halfway through that. Well, I'm inking him. So,
are you just really fast, or do you just never sleep?
Bit of both.
Bit of both.
I think so. I am pretty fast. I just get into it and do it. So
yeah, and I'm pretty sure how we met was through seeing your art on Killaroo. And there's just your art feels very visceral, very immediate, and I just like that. But you do a lot of detail though, so you fool me a little bit saying you're fast with it, because it definitely looks like you noodle around there a lot.
No, I put it down quickly. Just I just sort of try to have fun with it. Like, I like happy mistakes. When mistakes happen, that's part of the fun. Like with something like that, where I've just put lots of black and I've gone over it with white out and splatter and doing a lot more with the white media over the black. So
yeah. And again, if you haven't gotten issue 2, maybe I could show a preview here, but oh no, I can't. Yeah. So yeah, you see Ryan's awesome work. Heavy inks. Not surprised that you go back over it in white out, because it's a lot of black. Yeah, and it's just amazing. Again, saw your work online, wanted to work together. Glad we were able to.
yeah,
It doesn't always happen,
been
people
fun.
are busy. And again, Ryan is back. Here's the first page of the book right here for his story. And then I'm gonna pull it up if I can. See if I can share my screen. Nah. Well, while I pull that up, we'll talk a little bit more. But yeah, again, one of the things that you don't realize when you go into comics is you have to be an expert in a lot of things, and technology is one of them these days. So, I used to think myself pretty savvy, but apparently that is not the case when it comes to things like this. I can't even get the screen to share.
Yeah, I've had to become an expert on scanning nowadays. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The few times I've ever taken the plunge to have to scan anything, yeah, it just frustrates the heck out of me.
Well, I brought my own scanner, so it just saves so much hassle. So.
Yeah, but even with that, like I can never get the DPI right. I always have to call my artist friends and be like, "Hey, walk me through it. Why is it scanning as a 200 when I'm putting in 600?" You know, it's just like, ah, geez. All right, where's our cover? Here it is. As we wrap up here, see if I can screen share. There we go.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Cover address on there. Oh, and I was bad and already forgot.
That's okay. That looks so cool with the logo. Wow.
Yes, and thank you for working with the logo. I know I'm a novice when it comes to
I made sure I left lots of room.
Yes, thank you. I'm very much a novice when it comes to graphic design, and I understand that I made this logo a little bit obnoxious, but yeah, not everybody's you know, working with the file, and it can save you some time too, right? If you know that the logo is going to cover up a lot, but I do appreciate you working with that. It worked out really good. Again, you were taking a square image and had to make it a little different, to make the homage work. And
Well, at least
real sharp.
the album cover, it just goes to sky on top, so it worked out well. Just
Yep.
pushing it up, so it was quite. And instead of the jets, I put those little bats.
Yeah. See if we can zoom in here a little bit for people. We got all kinds of cool details. And obviously, instead of this was a great addition too. This was totally, Ryan's idea. You take the sign from where Vic's leaning on the sign and do that. And obviously the stack of Marshall's amazing. It's all amazing.
I tried to make the back stuff line up to the original cover. A lot of the little objects, but sort of copied off objects. Obviously, it's amps and stage stuff instead of the what's the building? The United Nations building or something?
I forgot. I think it is the United Nations building. Yeah.
I actually did research on it when I was doing it. Like, what is that building in the background? Look at the flags, and it's like, oh, it's in New York. It's an actual place. So, and I got photos of it to try and figure out what it was. Like, I'm actually looking at in the background. So,
yeah. So please,
fun. I enjoyed that.
Please, everyone out there, back issue 3 so we can get to issue 4. Ryan's making me feel guilty. All this work he did for what I pay him. I need to get him definitely some issues and get him a bonus for all the hard work he did on this. And again, you see it there, an amazing cover. So,
well, it was either this one or was it Rain and Blood? That was the other idea I had.
Which, we may revisit that one down the road because that was a good idea too.
I thought of
as the series gets a little bit darker, I think that one will definitely fit in well.
Yeah,
so we'll definitely be having you back.
So.
If you're able to fit it in your schedule, we will definitely keep having you back again.
Man, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, just from what little we knew about each other before and what you put out there online, I had a feeling it was in your wheelhouse. It might be something you would enjoy and your style would work in, and it's nice when a plan comes together.
Oh, absolutely, and I've never done a parody of a album cover. I don't think so, and that's super cool to do.
Yeah, and we've had a theme here. If people saw there in the Kickstarter, Dan Doherty's
I've got a question cover. Actually.
Oh, go ahead.
The number 3 cover with the dog heads on the guitars. What's that a copy of?
That was just Brian Chirilla. That was just his idea. He's like, I want to put I want to put the masthead through the wolves. It started out that the head was the masthead of the guitar, and then he was kind of like, I think it looks better like this, so they won't be at the top of the image. Yeah. Oh, Brian's amazing.
Love it.
And another spoiler for those listening, again, more bonus information. Brian is so amazing, he agreed to do 2 covers, so he might be the variant to issue 4. So we'll be revealing that soon. But yeah, we ended up with this unintentional and I think some of that's the fun of doing comics and being your own publisher. It can be a challenge sometimes, but you know, first off, this was supposed to be a 3-issue series. Now we split it because we had more story to tell. So I was able to get an extra cover in here. The first issue, I definitely had an idea for that Man of War homage. I was looking for an artist to do it, found Maria Wolf. You know, she nailed it. Beyond that, I hadn't really thought of it. And then, you know, again, then each issue, then I was thinking, well, you know, what can we do for issue 2? I was talking to Kelly Williams. I said, you know, I have an idea for a Dio homage. And he was like, well, honestly, I'm kind of busy, but because you said Dio, I'm going to do it. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is how I get people to do these covers.
Yeah,
So then I approached Ryan and I was like, let's do this homage. And then we actually went backwards. Issue 3 did not have an homage cover. And then Dan really wanted to do a cover. I wanted to obviously have our amazing interior artist, Dan Doherty, get in on the fun as well. And I pitched him another Man of War homage in Hail to England. So that's the cover that you see. You'll see for issue 3 when you check out the campaign. But yeah, so we ended up with this kind of unintentional set where a year ago I only had one planned, and now working with all you amazing musicians and metalheads that are just so excited to do these homages. And you know, I think that is part of comics too. You know, pitch people what you know is going to be fun for them too. If they're going to be spending time drawing this, you know, let them go to town on what they want. So we also have amazing covers already lined up for issue 2. Oh, I'm sorry, Arc 2, which we'll be announcing soon. So, you know, this campaign is really important to the future of the book. You have approximately 9 issues planned out now, so we definitely have a ways to go as we're about a third of the way into it. So, but I appreciate you taking some time to chat with us. It was nice to get to know you a little bit more again. You know, in this digital world that we live in, we don't always slow down and, you know, actually get to talk to each other and get to know each other a little bit.
That's been fun. Cool.
So this obviously will go up on the YouTubes. So for people watching it afterwards, again, the campaign is going until March 8th. So please click the link in the show notes. I will include Ryan's links as well. He's a great follow. Again, he's got art, he's got music, he's got all kinds of fun things from the wild land of Australia. Anything that you want to plug on your way out? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to put me on blast on? You know, John's terrible to work with. You know, now is your chance to air it live on the air.
No, it's been great, man. It's all been great and cool and fun, and no, that's about it, really. As long as it's fun, that's all that matters to me. So, yeah, that's it. That's my advice for everyone. Have fun doing what you're doing.
I agree. And, you know, obviously a big part of our campaign, you know, all the dollars go to printing the books and paying my contributors. I work really hard to pay my contributors in advance so that they don't have to sweat for back pay and things like that. So, yeah, these campaigns are really important to keep, you know, amazing artists continuing to work. And, you know, I appreciate all of those that work with us here at Part-Time Comics. We have hopefully a lot more coming out this year, but again, this campaign goes till March 8th. We appreciate everyone who tuned in live. Thanks, Andrew, for all the interaction in the chat. And yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a comment. Tell us what maybe there's an homage that you want to see in the future. Maybe you do want to see that Rain in Blood. We'll definitely have to do some sort of Slayer one. But yeah, Ryan, thanks for sitting down with us, and hopefully we'll chat again soon.
No problem.
Take it easy.